We live in this incredibly connected world, right? We're constantly talking to people from all over the globe. But have you ever stopped to think about those invisible rules? The ones that decide if a conversation clicks or if it just falls flat? It's usually not about what we say, but about everything we don't say.
Oh man, I think we've all been there. You say something that feels perfectly clear, but you just get a blank stare back. Or even worse, you find out later you accidentally offended someone. It's that super frustrating feeling, right? Where you know something important just got completely missed. So, what is actually going on there? Well, to get to the bottom of it, we're going to dig into this amazing guide on cross-cultural communication. It gives us a really clear way to understand all these little differences and, maybe more importantly, a practical set of tools to handle them. So let's jump right in. Okay, so the first thing we have to get our heads around, and honestly, this is the biggest one, is something called the context spectrum. Seriously, this one idea is a total game changer for figuring out why cultures communicate so differently. It really just boils down to this. Every single culture has a sort of default communication style. Some cultures are all about direct, explicit words, while others are built on the shared understanding around the words. And believe me, where a culture lands on the spectrum changes literally everything. And this, right here, shows you that spectrum perfectly. So, on one side, you have high-context cultures. Think Japan or China. Here, communication is all about what's not said. It's layered. The meaning is hidden in body language, in the relationship between people. You really have to read between the lines. Now flip that completely. On the other side, you've got low-context cultures, like the USA or Germany. Here, it's the total opposite. Good communication is expected to be direct, crystal clear. You say what you mean and you mean what you say. No guesswork involved. So if the actual words are only half the story, what's filling in the rest? Well, that brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, the super powerful and often totally invisible world of unspoken signals. This is where it gets really interesting, you guys. We're constantly sending messages with our tone of voice, our posture, even how we use silence. It's like there's a whole second conversation happening right alongside the one we're having out loud. And a lot of the time, it's the louder one. And here are some of the biggest signals to watch out for. I mean, think about it. Using an idiom like, let's knock it out of the park, will just confuse someone who's never seen a baseball game. But the nonverbal stuff, that's even trickier. Take eye contact. In some places, holding a strong gaze means you're honest and confident. But in many other parts of the world, that exact same eye contact can feel aggressive or even deeply disrespectful. And what about silence? Is it a moment to think, or is it just awkward? It all depends on where you are.
All right, so knowing the theory is great, but how do we actually use this stuff in the real world? That's what this is all about. We're going to get into a practical toolkit for adapting your message so you can actually connect with people more effectively. Here are 4 steps you can take right now to get better at this. Step 1. Be a cultural detective. Before you say a word, do a little homework on your audience's norms. Step 2. Speak their language, and I don't just mean literally. Use examples and stories that will actually resonate with them. 3. Match their rhythm. Pay attention to the tone, the pace, the level of formality, and adjust yours to fit in. And finally, number 4, watch your visuals. That thumbs up gesture that means great in the US, yeah, it's a huge insult in parts of the Middle East. These small details can make or break a conversation. And really, all of this work, it all points to one thing. And this quote just nails it. The goal isn't just to get your information across. It's to build rapport, to build trust. Because in a lot of cultures, if people don't feel a connection with you first, it doesn't matter how great your message is, they're just not going to hear it. That connection is the conversation. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question. Think about the next time you have a really important conversation with someone from a different background. What's the one thing, just one key thing, you'll try to do differently after hearing all this? Because sometimes the smallest tweak in your approach can make the absolute biggest difference in creating a real connection.